Now for this tutorial, I'm using this half-inch foam. As you can see here, it's double. So I'll keep one aside and work with one. Now first of all, I'll mark the full length. I'll be using 9 as my full length. But you can use 11 or 12 if you want the hip pads to be long. Mark the other edge of the foam. Then for the width, I'm taking 10. For a shabby person, you can use 12 or 13 for the width measurement. I'm just going to connect the points with my ruler, then cut to shape. After that, I'll mark out the midpoint of the foam, then also connect the points with my ruler. After ruling out the middle, I'll just fold the foam into two. Place my tape from this top point, then mark out 2 inches like this. Now from this midpoint, I'll mark 3 inches, then connect it to this 2 inches line. Now after doing that, I will use my free hand to make a curve like this, then cut out the shape. Now I'll come back to this top midpoint and mark 1 inch. This 1 inch is like a dart line. Then I will come to this down point of the foam and also mark 1 inch, then connect it to the midline just like this. When you open it up, this is what you get. I'll also come here and mark out that same 1 inch dart line and connect it to the middle line. I'm going to mark 2.5 inches, which is the middle of this half part of my foam. I really hope you guys understand what I'm doing here. Roll out the middle point, then cut out the shape. So guys, this is the shape we are going to be working with. Now I'll bring out the second foam, place this one on it, then trace the exact shape on the foam. Then after tracing, cut out the shape. This is the two foams after cutting. The smaller part is for the front, while the wider part is for the back part of the tights. Now I'll just cut out ½ inch from the edges. The next thing is to cut out the lining. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'll fold my lining into two, place the foam on it, pin the foam and lining together, then cut the shape of the foam on the lining, leaving out ½ inch extra allowance on the lining. After cutting the lining, this is how it looks, the same shape with the foam. Now I'm going to trim around the edges of the foam. Please guys, I'm just doing this in a hurry. When you're making yours, trim around the edges very well, make sure it's flat. If not, it's going to swell when you sew it inside the tights. Now I'm going to sew it together with my machine. But when making yours, you can sew it with a hand needle, because if you don't sew it carefully with your machine, the foam will start to tear. After sewing, trim it to make the shape round. After doing that, I will keep the foam aside. Now I'm done sewing my lining. This is the other remaining 3 pieces of lining. Now I'll bring the hip pad, place and pin the lining on it just like this. I will sew around the edges of the hip pads. After sewing around the edges, I'm going to trim round the lining, leaving just ½ inch extra. Now bring out the remaining 2 lining, place and pin it on the hip pad just like this. Then sew around the edges of the lining. After sewing, turn it to the front and this is what you will get. So close the hole. So this is the hip pads. Like I said before, the smaller part will be at the front while the wider part will be at the back of the tights. Now this is my tight now for this tutorial. I will turn it to the back. Place it on my table like this. So I will use my chalk to roll out the side of the tights. After marking the sides of the tights, I'll go ahead and mark my hip line, which is 8. Now I'll fold the hip pad into 2 and mark the middle. Place and pin it together with my tight like this. I'll also come here from the waist of the tight, mark out the hip line, which is 8. Mark the midpoint of the hip pad, then place and pin it with the tight just like this. Then sew around the edges. Then sew around the edges of the pad with the tight. So guys, I'm done sewing the pads inside the tights. This is what you get after sewing. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Also like this video, feel free to comment, also share the video. I hope this video was helpful. I will see you in my next video.